Welcome to Speak of the Devil presents the Satanic Warlock of the Year 52 Anno Satanas Award Show. My name is Reverend Campbell, and first and foremost, at the very top, allow me to welcome my co-host for this evening's festivities, Magister Dr. Robert Johnson. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well. Good evening, Adam, and thank you for doing this. You've done quite an amazing job, and we're very proud of this event and the nominees. And it's apropos that this is being broadcast on Devil's Night, the night before Halloween. So we're all going to have a real good time.
I'm looking forward to it. Just right at the top, let me give a quick shout out to everyone that's tuning in live. We really appreciate you guys taking the effort and joining us. Dallas, Tyler, Raoul, Jay Nothing, how's it going? Felsith, Michelle, Princess Beth, how's it going, my dear? Adam, Rhino, and Lolly. And anyone else that comes in during the course of this, if you want to get in the chat, if you want to talk with the other people, or maybe just send a message to us, I'm going to try to call you out during the course of the show as we go along. Chaotic Scott, how's it going? All right, well, I am incredibly pleased that you're joining me, Magister Johnson. I know the audience isn't aware, but you were actually nominated for the award yourself, and you decided to step aside in order to honor some of the new Black Guard. What was it like to be nominated by the...
Well, of course, I'm very flattered and honored. It's quite an august group to be involved with. And, you know, I think just the mere fact that I've written the book, The Satanic Warlock, and kind of created this primer for the new Black Guard of the Hellfire Brotherhood, I thought it was only right to step aside and let the Warlocks who are making this new organization what it is really shine. And to pick one or two or a number who've gotten a number of votes was something I felt was necessary for them, for us, for the Church of Satan, for everyone involved. So to step aside was the right thing to do.
Nice. Well, I do have to say, this entire show, this award itself, the idea alone all comes from the Satanic Warlock volume. So props on that. I know you and I have had a show on that, and we talked about it in depth. But thank you for putting that out there as a primer for greater things to come, even.
Yes, there will be greater things to come. As I mentioned to you earlier in a conversation, the Satanic Warlock website is now in production and will debut soon. And the website is where the book leaves off. We'll pick up on issues that are pertinent to men, along with entertainment. It really is the foundation, again, of the new Black Guard. We will offer advice, personal advice. We'll offer entertainment. We'll be offering every issue of Old Nick magazine on the website. So there's going to be quite a bit of content that's apropos to Warlocks. And more importantly, it's once again building this foundation of our brotherhood. A brotherhood that is much different from all others out there. We are walking the walk in the 21st century.
Absolutely. Let me give a quick shout out to those who have just jumped in the chat. Max, Sarah, Corey, R. Martinez, Daniel, Hell's Artist, Chambers, Jeff Zoth. My man, how you doing, man? Dallas and Jeff, thank you guys so much for joining us. You know, we're going to be recognizing all of the nominees in just a few moments, including this evening's honored nominees, Citizen Jeff Bowling and Warlock David Ingram. But first, let me go over tonight's events with all of you so we know what's going to be coming down the pipeline. We're going to begin tonight with a message from Magus Peter H. Gilmore addressing our Mutual Admiration Society. Next, we're going to recognize all of the Satanic Warlock of the Year nominees. Then we're going to go over the inception and execution of this award, concluding with that presentation of the top two honored nominees, giving them each the floor to express what it means to them that you, their peers and respected cohorts, nominated them. I'll then hand over the floor to Magister Dr. Robert Johnson for the first portion of this evening's entertainment. He will discuss 5 steps to living the life carnal. And immediately following Magister Johnson is a vintage burlesque performance from Jenny Lee in Red Hot Mama. And on the other side of that performance, we will reveal your honored Satanic Warlock of the Year. So, how about we kick this thing off right now? What do you think? Should we do it?
Buckle up.
All right. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce our High Priest, Magus Peter H. Gilmore.
When Anton LaVey founded the Church of Satan in 1966, the paradigm he established for how his cabal of non-joiners would interact would be as a mutual admiration society. Thus, members were not required to socialize or even to like each other, but when choosing to interact, the exchange should be positive, not the sort of encounter group negativity that was common in the 1960s. Celebrating the strengths and achievements of our fellows is thus a natural part of the Church of Satan. And so I personally congratulate all of you nominees for the Satanic Warlock of the Year award. You are exemplars who impress us all with your applications of our philosophy towards moving the world according to your wills. Each and every one of you enrich us. Whoever might be selected to be the first amongst such outstanding men, I salute you all for your dynamism in pursuit of vital existence that continually serves to inspire us. Hail to the Satanic Warlock of the Year. Hail, Satan.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm always incredibly pleased and surprised anytime anyone wants to collaborate with anything I do. It's an honor to have you, Dr. Johnson, with us, and to have Magus Gilmore contributing his thoughts on the Mutual Admiration Society to this show. I mean, to be honest, sort of pull aside the drapes, it adds an authority to the show that it may not have had otherwise, and so I genuinely appreciate that type of interaction.
Well, you're very welcome, and there is no one better than Magus Gilmore to impart what's so important about the church and this new thing that we've created called the Black Guard.
Absolutely. Just before we jump into the next section here, Diva Dave D, thanks for joining us, man. Let's see. XXIV, good to see you. And Tyler, if I didn't say hey. Hey. All right, it's now our honor to present all of your nominated Satanic Warlocks, coupled with one of the many reasons they were nominated by you. These gentlemen are truly the best of the Black Guard. I was surprised by the amount of men that were nominated. Not because there wasn't a plethora of deserving gentlemen, but simply we as Satanic Warlocks, we as Satanists do not go out of our way to seek praise. And there are innumerable amounts of us who are not actually out. And so for anyone to know of their accomplishments in a lot of these cases is surprising to me. I think that's probably like the greatest dichotomy of this situation of the award, is being able to, one, find the Satanic Warlock actively in the world, and then, getting people to recognize them or even become aware of them, because we traditionally like to move, in the background.
Well, you're right, Ed, and we're going to see more of this and more of this. I was just astounded at the quality of men who were involved here. If I know many of them personally and have been in a number of situations, good and crazy and bad, but almost always good. And I will tell you, if I had to hand pick a group of citizens, priests, warlocks, I would have been hard pressed to find any more better than what were chosen here. Quite a group.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, there was many that didn't end up making the arbitrary line in the sand that I had drawn, simply because I just received too many. Like, we ended up with a really great number of 13 to go to the voting round, simply because that is the amount that had multiple nominations. But there were a good 25 that only had single nominations that I felt bad about not including. But at what point do you just create such a massive list that people stop paying attention to it? So I apologize to everyone who only got the single nomination and didn't get represented here. It wasn't any personal slight at all. And to be fair, there was a couple individuals that I reached out to who were nominated with multiple nominations that for one reason or another just weren't able to participate. So such is the life of a Satanist. Sometimes you just can't be out all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let me talk about the inception of this award really quick before we introduce the two honored nominees. You had released the Satanic Warlock, Magister Johnson, and I read it. We had a conversation about it. You came on Speak of the Devil, and we did an entire show based solely on it, which has gotten really wonderful reception. Not just the video, but the actual book itself. It is, whenever people now reference canon works of Satanism, it's on par with Satanic Witch and Satanic Rituals, Satanic Scriptures, Satanic Bible. So it's for you as an author, and knowing that ultimately, of course, was the purpose of creating this, but to see it received so well, what does that mean to you?
Well, needless to say, it's very heartwarming, and it's a professional accomplishment that pales in many other things that I've done in life, including working for major companies and writing other books, because it was so close to the way I live and the philosophy I believe in. Mm-hmm. When I endeavored to do this, I said to myself, where am I getting the balls to do this? Where do I come off writing a piece of the canon? Mm. And fortunately, again, it was this magical timing of the 50th anniversary of the church, and also encouragement, one from Dr. LaVey, whom I met back in the 90s, when I asked him, we discussed the Satanic Witch, and I asked him, why not the Satanic Warlock? And I said, is it just because you didn't want to write it, or it wasn't time, or there wasn't the right person to write it? And what he said to me was, why don't you write it? Well, it took 20 years, almost. And subsequently, I had the same conversations with Magister Gilmore and Magister Peggy Nadramia, who also said, yeah, you write it. So it was something that crystallized all along the track. And to hear that it's been so well accepted, and it is very well accepted. As you know, the hardcover has sold out. The softcover is now available, and that's selling well. And it's permeating the zeitgeist of social culture now. You know, with Twitter and whatnot, Church of Satan has an enormous Twitter following now. I'm getting response from the mainstream. Well, what is that book, and what is this all about? And then that parlays into other Church of Satan canon, including the scriptures and Witch and Secret Life, and of course the Bible. And it's spreading because of the sanity of the religion and the way people can embrace this all. This is what was the impetus of the Black Guard. You know, I recognized that men, especially men now, are struggling out there. You know, the rise of radical feminism has hurt. There are guys who, you know, talk to me every day about, well, you know, their head is spinning. They don't know how to deal with society as it is in this PC culture that's just awful and is emasculating so many men. So that's a small part of what prompted me to create the Black Guard. But the Black Guard of the Hellfire Brotherhood, and I include the Hellfire Brotherhood because this is also going to be a major part of the whole deal, was spawned from the book. And that was a long-ass answer to your question.
I dig it. It's quite all right. Why I wrote the book. Well, I mean, that's a great place for me to jump in because you had approached me about writing an essay for the website, and it was published in Old Ink magazine about the next generation of Satanic Warlock, the new Black Guard. That essay was it was funny because I was, you know, getting tattooed in the tattoo chair, sort of bouncing ideas off of like Storm, for example, about how I could approach that specific essay. Because with everything that I write, I always like to, you know, start like super personal and then spread out from there. And this was very much a broad-based conversation. It wasn't as personal as other things that I've done. So it was more of a challenge. And what it did, it sort of crystallized this idea in my head that we are literally in a mutual admiration society, the Church of Satan. Like, every single one of us. And we don't have any event celebrating the fact that we're a mutual admiration society. It makes zero sense to me. And so I knew that the Satanic Witch of the Year was a thing, and Magister Grain has been doing a wonderful job with that for the past couple of years. But there's nothing for men. And yes, we are in a world where feminism is much more in dominant, abject control of our popular culture and polite society than it ever has been before. Political correctness has run rampant across the world, but we should at least have one moment, one evening where men can just gather and celebrate those that we deem of authority and strength and those we respect as human beings, as accomplished men. And so that's where I reached out to you and Magister Grain. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, and just you know, asked if you would be okay with me creating or starting this event off. Did you have any reservations about the idea of an award show like this, or just the act of producing it?
Well, I was pissed off that I didn't think of it. It's a great idea. It's the timing again was perfect. You're absolutely right. It's a way for us to celebrate men again, and not in a misogynistic way by any means. You know, we love our satanic sisters, and they know as well as I do when everything is working correctly, they could manipulate us as much as they want, and as long as they're delivering the goods, and we love it that way. You know, we're all for femininity over feminism. So this is a topic we'll get into more at some later date, I'm sure. But no, I had no reservations. It's a wonderful idea, and I'm so glad you did it.
Yeah. In retrospect, I probably should have started it like 2 weeks later than I did. But as soon as it hit me as an idea, I wanted to jump on it before someone else tried to run with it. And I know what I'm capable of bringing to the table, and I know the tone that I was hoping an award show like this would have, and I wasn't convinced that anyone else could bring that. And so I was thrilled when you both gave your blessings and allowed me to run with it, and pretty much just make the difficult decisions in the production and the awareness and everything. Because I genuinely think we deserve this as Satanic Warlocks. Like, God damn it, this is our world. We deserve to be recognized if we want to be recognized.
Well, that's why, Adam, I bring in the Hellfire Brotherhood, because this is the other side of the coin. The Black Guard is created to promote, not proselytize, but promote the Church of Satan against all of the posers out there, and you know who we're talking about, and to foster the male community of Satanists, and to have a resurgence of sorts of solid masculinity, and the brotherhood part pulls that all together. Yeah. This signifies we are a brotherhood, to be there to support, to help, to show, to educate, to do all of those things.
Yeah, well, I think it's great, and I also think it's about time that we introduce our two honored nominees. Master Johnson, who is our first honored nominee?
It's my pleasure to introduce citizen Jeff Bowling, who is an accomplished musician, among other things, and he's on board waiting to talk.
Let me give a little bit of background here. Jeff has served 6 years in the United States military, completing 1 deployment to Europe and 2 to Iraq. He has a history with the creation of industrial experimental bands and fronting a number of hardcore punk bands. He was named Distinct Faith Group leader of the largest alternative religious group in the Iraqi theater, and began his professional wrestling career as both a wrestler and referee. After an honorable discharge from the Army, Jeff moved to Las Vegas, where he began to work in the private security and investigation industry, including time as a private security contractor in Afghanistan. He joined an independent theater event troupe, where he contributed to set and prop construction, sound and lighting, character acting, event security, promotion marketing, etc. This led to his co-founding of The Pride, a group focused on stage combat training, winning the 2015 live-action fight scene competition at Combat Con. He has earned both an Associates of Criminal Justice and a Bachelor of Fine Arts degrees. In 2014, he joined a hard rock metal band, releasing 4 singles and a full-length album. Jeff completed several regional and national tours to sold-out crowds. In 2016, he joined the Las Vegas-based punk metal band Slave to Reality, which released their first EP, while he began working on his solo multimedia project, Embrace the Forbidden. Lastly, he's working on the Infernal Legion, the first satanic veterans organization designed to assist satanic veterans with VA benefits and medical claims, legal issues, counseling, promoting satanic veterans' personal projects, and providing a place for socialization and camaraderie for the elite among the alien elite. We can glimpse a bit of why Jeff deserved this honor by hearing what those who nominated him had to say. Quote, "Jeff's music and writing has inspired me to overcome my own struggles and realize the internal strength that exists within. And, after watching the Veterans Affairs episode of Third Side Intelligence, I think that Mr. Bowling is doing for veterans, the work he's doing for veterans is worthy of praise." Jeff, thank you so much for joining us live. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you just sitting in silence in the background while we were just chatting away.
It was hard to cover the laughs, you know. I would try to laugh, and I just have to cover my mouth.
So, what does it mean to you to be nominated by your peers to the Satanic Warlock of the Year?
It's it kind of means a lot. I've been doing, all those things that you mentioned. Thanks for making me look good, by the way. But I've been doing all those things that you mentioned for so long without any real openness about being a Satanist or about being a member of the Church of Satan. I haven't really reached out to anybody within the organization until about a year, maybe 2 years ago, when I started being more open and upfront about that. And then for something like this to come along and all these people to nominate me, to vote for me, to speak well of me. It's kind of surreal to realize that that all these people were watching all along, and I had no idea. So it means a lot.
Do you mind if I ask? Did you vote for yourself during the voting process?
Well, I have multiple devices, so I can use multiple IP addresses. So I did vote for myself.
I reached out
twice.
to an Asian group of hackers.
I voted for myself twice, and I voted for one of the other nominees twice. So I figured it was fair.
Yeah. And what do you think about your other honored nominee? You know what? Put a pin in that because we haven't announced him yet. Give us an opportunity. We're going to come right back to you, but let's introduce our second honored nominee, Magister Johnson. Would you like to do the honors?
I will do the honors. The second nominee is Warlock David Ingram.
Yeah. And, of course, I've got to spew. I've got a bit of a piece on him, too. David has been busy in the music industry since he first picked up a bass guitar 33 years ago to join a band at school. Since then, he's relinquished playing bass. He's worked with numerous bands and has released 15 albums since 1990, with another 5 lined up over the next 2 years. He's performed on thousands of stages all around the world. And let's not forget the near decade of podcasting with Metal Breakfast Radio, a metal scrutiny show filled with laughter, drinking, and really great and equally terrible tracks. In addition to the 5 years of Lambert's Basement, a big band jazz music podcast. During a tour in 1995, he met Thriller in Copenhagen, a beautiful woman who would change his life forever. He's married to her and living in Denmark's capital for nearly 20 years and hopes to become a full Danish citizen soon, already speaking its native language. Over the years, he's had his detractors and downputters and the avidly jealous trying to take away his joy, but it never works. And do you know why, David says? They know my name, they know my accomplishments, and they know everything I have done and achieved. But to me, they dwell in oblivion. It is a valuable lesson to remember, and it's one he's passed on to his son, one of his proudest accomplishments. He has a total obsession with the television show Doctor Who, which has been a part of his life from birth. He would like me to end this with a quote from said doctor that is his credo. There's no point being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes. However, he's probably best summed up by one of you who nominated David. Warlock Ingram is a hard-working, highly prolific vocalist in numerous awesome metal bands whose releases have garnered international acclaim and have sold thousands of copies. He's also the creator-presenter of the long-running Metal Breakfast Radio podcast on Radio Free Satan, which this month has celebrated its 400th episode. Warlock Ingram is a bloody nice bloke and a damn fine friend. Now, Warlock Ingram is not with us this evening, the time zone and prior commitments, but he did send in a video accepting this nomination, so we will hear from him now.
Hello, Warlock David Ingram here. I apologise for not being able to join you all tonight. Some personal issues to attend to, and I just very sorry that I just couldn't be there. Now then, how does it feel to be recognised and nominated? Well, I'm overjoyed. I really am. I'm honoured and I'm humbled. To be recognised as an example of the satanic ideal in an individual, this recognition comes as a big surprise and a very lovely one at that. I always give things pause for thought. I do things for a reason. But I've always lived by my own rules throughout my life. And those rules resonated with the satanic philosophy. And being a Satanist and living the satanic life comes as a second nature. So I would just like to thank those who have seen that and put forward my name for nomination. Thank you.
Okay, so we have just a static photo for David, but Jeff is live with us, and this I understand. Coming as from a position, we're Satanists. We don't seek praise. We don't look for pats on the back. But I imagine it's nice when you get them. From Jeff, from someone who, as you just mentioned, you didn't even make yourself known as an open Satanist for years, and just recently having doing so. Is it surreal to have a show like this? Do you feel like a show like this deserves to be around? Are we pushing the boundary a little too far here?
Well, actually, I float around the internet, the social media, Satanism, left-hand path world. We've all been there. We all know how trashy it is. There's a few people who aren't affiliated who were like, "What is this? Some kind of joke?" And quite honestly, yeah, it's the best joke in the world that you're not a part of.
Well put.
It's a joke at your expense. I think this is a fantastic award. Whether I was up here as a nominee or not, I think that this is a fantastic thing to do, because you're not just recognizing someone for being a part of the Church of Satan or something like that. You're recognizing them for their real world accomplishments, and then asking people who know them and recognize what they have done to both nominate and then vote for them. So again, I'm just like super stoked to be on the final two this year. But even if I wasn't, I think that's a fantastic concept, because just like with everything else in the Church of Satan, this is not about how many grimoires you read and memorize, or about how many highfalutin titles you get or whatever. This is about real world accomplishment. And I'm proud of what I've accomplished, and I think that David Ingram is that man has gone, above and beyond anything I've done. He's been an inspiration to me since before I even got into music. So I'm super honored to be in the same category as him, and some of the people that were nominated as well who aren't here in the final two, that why am I here?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
you both have good beards, so that's
right.
It was a beard contest. No one even knew it. It was a total secret, but it's out now. It's all
beard.
Well, it is kind of funny that we both have immaculate facial hair, and we're both musicians. So maybe that's a thing. I don't know.
Well, Jeff, it goes far beyond that. As you pointed out, you are both exemplary warlocks, as were all the nominees, I have to say.
Absolutely.
And I know, as I said, I know many of them personally. Their accomplishments are astounding in many respects. And some of them contributed to my book and the website. And there's an open call now for warlocks to contribute to the new website as well. Just email information at the Satanic Warlock if you're interested. Shameless plug, but it will be a good forum.
Yeah.
But you both have, as I said, exemplified what it means to be a warlock by accomplishment. If there was one thing I wanted to get forth in the book, was that warlocks need to produce. They need to create, not crow. We need to show that we are substantial, that we can do more than everyone else, and that in itself builds confidence. So kudos to you both.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. That means a lot coming from you.
I think at this point, I would like to give the floor over to Magister Johnson for his presentation. Are you ready?
Didn't I spew enough already?
A little more. Just a little more.
A little bit more. Okay, I won't bore everyone to death, but in the new on the new website rather, the inaugural blog that I do is called "Living the Life Carnal," and basically it's a short piece boiling down how warlocks should conduct themselves in lives and what's most important to them. And there are 5 major steps to that. Now, Anton LaVey, as we all know in the Satanic Bible, hit upon something with giving the Church of Satan the moniker of the most carnal religion on earth. There's a reason for this. I just want to show you this book. Can you see this?
Yeah. Red Queen.
Yeah. The Red Queen. For those who don't know it, it's an excellent book about sex and the evolution of human nature. That's what it's about. Boil it all down. It's about sex and the evolution of human nature equals the life carnal. That's what Satanism is. Everything else is window dressing. We do everything else to get to that point. So I created this 5-point thing called, look at it as a devilish devotional of living the life carnal. The 5 steps, and I'll be brief. The first is to take inventory. This sounds a little like New Agey bullshit, but it's not. Because if you take inventory as to what you have at this moment in life, Eckhart Tolle wrote a very interesting book, The Power of Now, which is poignant. You must look at what you have at this moment around you, the people around you, the things that you love, the places you live, the accomplishments you've created. These are the things you must look at every second of your life and take inventory and embrace them, because that's the basis of your life. What will happen 10 minutes from now, what happened 10 minutes ago, doesn't really matter. Yeah, it sounds like New Agey crap, but it's not. It's really what's important, because we're living in the now, and as Satanists, we are realists. Mm-hmm. We don't believe in afterlife. We believe in living this moment. And when you can find joy in this moment, you have half the game. Oh. The second part of this is confidence. The biggest piece of a warlock is his confidence. And there's only one way to get confidence. No one is born with confidence. No one. I'm imparting to all warlocks out there who are listening, if you feel like you lack confidence, you don't. You're just on the threshold of getting it. And the way to get it is to repeat something you are very good at. Whatever that one thing is, just keep repeating it, repeat it. Be expert in that particular field, genre, interest, passion, whatever that is. Keep repeating it. That will build your confidence, and that will be exuded through every pore of your body, and people will pick up on it. That's number 2. Number 3 is sort of fits with confidence, and that's your passion. Find it. Find it. As these 2 gentlemen have done, they found their passion, and they made it happen. Jeff has a number of them. David sold a number of albums. It's just pretty simple. Find that passion and don't let anything stop you from living that passion, because that's what will make you happy. The 4th thing is your love interests. As much as we love our partners, our mates, our girlfriends, our wives, whomever, don't make that person your entire world. There's not only one person for anyone. And I may take some flack for this, but this is the truth. It's a lot of years of experience behind this. Concentrating on one person to fulfill you will never fulfill you. You must fulfill yourself first. Love that person with all your heart. Protect that person. Part of being a warlock is keeping your mate safe. It's a big deal. But if you rely on a person to fulfill you and make you whole, if your heart is broken, you will fall apart. Don't do it. Make yourself happy first. And the person you love will be happier for it. And the 5th thing, very simply, is believe in your will. Your will is powerful. It's the is to be. It's lesser magic made real. What you want to happen, what you completely devote yourself to, will happen. Don't believe when anyone else tells you. It will happen. Living the life carnal means embracing the stuff that makes your mind and body happy and fulfill, and that's your will. So that's a very abbreviated piece. An abbreviated breakdown of my piece called The Life Carnal, which will be on the website. And I hope it helps. It's just, I like these bullet point items today in our ADD world. People don't like to read. So if we live by these devotionals, quote unquote, every day, you'll find that your life will transform nicely. And we're the only religion that has naked girls as altars.
I can't argue with that. That's pretty great. That was fantastic. Thank you. Do you ever feel like, because you set off with the Satanic Warlock as the primer, the website is going to be the living continuation of that.
Right.
Do you ever feel like you're giving a little bit too much away all at once? Do you feel like you gotta not show your hand when you're?
No, because my role now is to be a mentor for the Black Guard and the creator of the Brotherhood, and this is all to reinforce the strength of the Church of Satan, to support Magus Gilmore and Magister Paganidramia to all ends, make the church stronger, again, promote but not proselytize, detract to the posers, they're idiots. We have a cadre of incredibly intelligent and far-reaching producers and creators out there that, like as you said earlier, don't even show their face, but they're there. The Infernal Empire is quite deep and quite amazing. Take it from me. So, in answer to your question, no, I'm not giving away my hand. I'm sharing. It's my time in life to share what I know. Yeah. And believe me, I've been through quite a bit, and I've accomplished more than I ever thought I could accomplish, just by living some basic tenets, and those are the tenets of living a life carnal.
Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that. I'd like to welcome the second half of the entertainment portion of tonight's festivities with Jenny Lee and her performance in Red Hot Mama. Keep your hands above the table, gentlemen.
Once again, the Bassoon Girl, Jenny Lee.
Genuinely feel like I should be shouting right
now. Is our mic hot?
Yeah.
I think I dated this girl. Waiting for the Marx Brothers to come out.
Frank, you and I Random Talk. Come on, give it up.
All right.
Okay, well, there's that.
That from something
Those were
weird.
the days.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, in the future, this is the first. So we're going to evolve and we're going to grow with this award. So Adrian says she reminds him of how neglected he was as a child. Nice. Thanks for joining us, man. For everyone who's been tuning in since we've been discussing this, Christopher, Lex, Bella the Demon, hey, Eldron, some names that just sound like they're right out of He-Man or something. Thanks for joining us. Start pulling out like a battle cat. We're going to have a conversation. I guess, I mean, should we just announce the winner at this point? What do you think?
You are the master of ceremony, so you tell me, and I'd be glad to.
I think it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand it over to our Master Johnson to announce the winner of the first Satanic Warlock of the year.
Thank you, Adam. It is my pleasure and honor to announce the very first Satanic Warlock of the year, Warlock David Ingram.
This is where you got to call out and threaten him with wrestling and stuff. Again, David sends his regrets. He is not able to come tonight, but we do have a little something from him.
Hello. You can see I'm joined now by Princess Bella. She was getting a little lonely and needed some dad time. So I'm sure you don't mind. I'm sure she doesn't either. Well, it seems that I won. And yes, Bella. And it's marvelous. It really is. And I am speechless. I really am. And yeah, always a critic. But I'm completely gobsmacked about this. Thank you, everyone. I heartily accept this recognition. And from the bottom of my heart, both of them. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm absolutely over the moon. And Bella is too. But again, thank you very much, everyone who voted for me. Thank you. It means a great deal. Continue to enjoy the rest of your evening, and of course, hail Satan.
That concludes this first Satanic Warlock of the Year award show. Thank you all for joining me. Jeff, thank you so much for tuning in live with us on
Thanks
the
for
show.
having me.
I know it must be a little bit disappointing. I mean, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it didn't mean anything, and now, you know, but...
No, honestly, it's an honor just to be nominated. No, I'm kidding. I can't think of a better person to lose to than Warlock David Ingram. That man, like I told you on Facebook, that man is a beast at everything he does. To be sitting here in the final two with him, and if I was going to lose to anybody, at least it was him.
I would like to adjust that a little bit because we recognize you of a man of authority in your life and deserving of respect. So I would like to shift it a little bit by saying you're not losing. You just weren't the honored, the top nominee.
Do I get a participation trophy then? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a little baseball plastic thing. I'll be sending it to you. Don't worry about it.
Right. All right. Right on.
No, you know what? I would like to propose a toast to everyone. To our infernal cabal, may our successes be as fruitful as our desires and our victories as prompt as our will to see it done. To the nominees, you are the best of this meta tribe of ours. You truly are the tip of the spear of the Black Guard. Stand tall and continue your command over your lives, knowing that you have our respect and admiration. And finally, to the Satanic Warlock of the Year, Warlock Ingram, Satan himself recognizes you as both brother and friend, and so do we. Your masterful path is covered with all the successes you have achieved. May the path ahead hold nothing but possibilities for you to turn to your advantage. I'd like everyone to raise their glass if they have one, and repeat after me. Hail the Satanic Warlock of the Year, Warlock Ingram.
Hail, Satanic Warlock of the Year.
Hail, Warlock Ingram.
Warlock
Hail
Ingram.
the Church of Satan.
Hail, Church of Satan.
Hail the Church of Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
To everyone joining, almost forgot the most important part. Thank you guys for joining us live in the chat room. I really appreciate the interaction. I appreciate all of you nominating these wonderful gentlemen for this award, voting to see it done. And for everyone joining us, Magister Johnson, it's been an absolute pleasure having you co-host the show with me.
My pleasure. And just keep in mind, all warlocks, that we should be as the silver-tip Myotis bat, whose body mass is 8.4% balls. So, keep that in mind.
Very nice. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Until we can speak of the devil again, hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
And don't forget to tip your waitresses.
Hail Satan.